Okay, hi everybody. This is Angelo Quinones and you reach Higher Ministries. This is about not really about Riza, my wife. I'm not going to be talking about her per se, but this has to do with my plan on the separation and like when is it gonna take place. Just in case somebody wants to know, there is no change. I am planning to get a separation. You know, don't imagine that things are better and then we're back. No, I mean, we're separated right now. I mean, she's in her mother's house during, due to my request, and I'm over here by myself without the kids. It's okay because I just had Anna, my daughter, and I brought her back home to, Riza's mother's house, and then the baby, Sean, I just saw briefly today, basically like one time. So it hurts that I can't be with them all the time, the kids, but like I said before, our children are alone to us from the Lord. So they're not really ours anyway. And I think that a lot of people already found that out in their lives, either the hard way or sort of the easier way, by rebellion or whatever the case may be. I mean, they're not our kids. They're not our property. They're not our creation. We procreated them. Okay. I use the word created loosely. We procreated them. We had something to do before their initial creation in the womb of their mother, but we didn't create anyone. They're not our property. So I mean, I love my kids and stuff like that, but God comes first, and then everybody else. I mean, that's just my mother. The way my mother taught me, I was taught to be responsible for my kids. I'm never gonna be a deadbeat dad. I'm always gonna buy them their food and their necessities until the day I die. So that's just the deal. You understand? Now, let me get to my plan. I am married to Riza Tapai now Quinones, and I plan to get a separation from her due to the things that I spoke about in my earlier videos, which I'm not going to get into now. This is no time for me to react against Riza because I already have like 10 videos. So, if you want to check them out, you can check them out and see, why I am basically divorcing her. I mean, there's no divorce in the Philippines, but there's separation and annulment, and also, by death. But uh, so annulment is you have to prove that the person is mentally not there, so that's not going to cut it, and so that's out. And then there's no divorce, but there's separation. Separation is a divorce. That's what the word divorce means, separation. So I mean, they don't have divorce here in the Philippines, but yes, they do because you can get separated. Or I mean, you can get separated if you have no money. You can get separated within 13 years or something like that. If you have a few $1,000s in your that you can pay a lawyer, you could get it down to 2 years. Okay, so there is divorce. They just don't call it like that, but there is. I mean, that's just the deal. All right, now, in actuality, no. In language, no. But in actuality, yes. There is divorce in the Philippines, whether people like to admit it or not. A separation is a divorce. That's all. That's what it is. All right, now. So what is my plan? Yesterday I made a couple of videos and it was during a rainstorm. I mean, so nobody was going to hear me, so I deleted them. Um, so Plan A is to file on November of next year. Now this is 2023. I'm talking about to file. Okay, forget about the months and dates for now. My plan is to get the separation started. Okay, during next year. Okay, during next year. Now this is the key. I have 3 slots to choose from. 2 of the slots, okay, help me to move faster with the separation, but and at the same time, I can't save any money in the bank. I can't. Not when you're paying out the arm through the nose. You understand what I'm saying? So, and by the way, I want to mention this about my wife. She did help me. I was crying the other day because of a knee injury that I suffered during a basketball game between me and my stepson, Godfrey. and all the activity that led to that. I mean, walking long distances, carrying my babies, walking in this very tough terrain here in the Philippines, or on the rocks, and gathering water at the well, and all this stuff. You understand what I'm saying? Very bad for your knees here in the Philippines in certain spots. Um, uh, Uneven, a little bit rocky, and stuff like that. So I mean, it's not conducive for somebody my age, and for somebody that has arthritis and probably now the two knees. But you know, not that she came here early to check to see how I was doing. She did not. But I have to thank God for Godfrey, my stepson that came after his basketball training, and I'll get into my plan in a second. Around 11:30, and actually saved my neck. He came here, and I told him, Godfrey, I was just crying. I was in so much pain, and you can't even sleep. I didn't even sleep during that night, the night before that morning. I mean, I couldn't sleep. I only slept a couple of hours because when you lay down, it hurts. When you sit down, it hurts. I even fell asleep sitting down. Um, I told him to get Risa, and Risa came, maybe an hour after that or half an hour after that, whatever it was. And she did buy me medicine. So I want to thank my wife for buying me medicine, in sickness and health, and stuff like that, or whatever the case may be. She did buy me medicine like she usually does. And I got better within a couple of hours, that at least I could tolerate the pain and lay down. I still have pain when I walk. I have like a sort of number one pain hanging around there when I'm just laying down. You feel it, but it's just so insignificant. It's just like a half a point. I mean, I was I was dealing with pain. Excuse me, guys. That went up to 10. Basically, I was at 10 because when you're crying, it's 10. You know. So it's getting better, but I mean, I have to do so many things, during the day that and she didn't buy me follow up medication. I'll do that myself when I get my money next month. That it's still lingering. So just pray for me. But let me get to my plan. So I want to thank Risa and my wife. Now anyway, for getting me medicine like she usually does. She does that well. That she does well. There are things that she does well, and there are things that she doesn't do well. Okay, just like me, there are things that I do well, and there are things that I can get better at. You understand what I'm saying? All right, now but this is the plan. The plan is to get the separation next year, 2024. But I got three choices. I either have March, okay, either March or February, give or take. The second, not the plan B, but I'm just saying, the second slot during the year is June, and that's good because that's my son's birthday. Sean Donnelly's birthday is in June. So I'm gonna say, even though I'm not gonna throw a big party, because over here, I mean, you throw a party for the kids, but it's not really for the kids. I mean, the people eat the pork and they eat the chicken, and you who threw the party and paid for it, you get very little food. Of the they make pork that you don't like, and you get chicken. It's just a couple of pieces on the plate, like maybe not a couple, but and you're the host, and you don't get a lot. Instead of spaghetti and ice cream, I got a lot of that, but So I mean, I expected more. On my birthday, I got more. I got chicken and the night before, and then when we went to the beach, my wife Risa, she had a box of chicken for me, just for me at the beach. So one of those plastic boxes and stuff like that. Those jelly bean boxes and stuff like that. So at least I munched away on those. Those were privately mine. So I'm like, okay, fine. And then the third slot is really just, November, because that falls on. Excuse me for yawning, guys. For me yawning. That falls on my daughter's birthday, Anna Devane. On November. So I wouldn't get it in December. I will get it in November if I choose that. That's actually Plan A, by the way. And then, I'm gonna say that Plan B is to get it either in February or March, and I'm gonna say why. It's important to know when, how much I get, because if I get the same thing in March, or just get a little more, then just wait for March. And then Plan C will be, Sean's birthday. I'll make sure that I have something saved. If I don't choose that, I have something saved for his birthday and for Anna's birthday down the road. You know what I mean? But I don't think that I'm gonna have to save for Anna's birthday, because if I get it in March, well then I can get it another loan in another loan. Now this is the deal though. Okay, so you have three choices basically next year, and one of them is going to be, one of them is going to be the choice where I get things rolling on the separation. Now listen, I don't want to get separated from Riza, because I love Riza dearly. I left everything for her. I made sacrifices that no one made in this marriage except for me. I'm the one who left my country. I left my family. I left my friends. I left my blossoming ministry over there. I wanted to join the Salvation Army. I wanted to write a book named called Logos, about Jesus' existence or subsistence before the incarnation, and maybe even after. And so I left, going to my favorite churches there. Choices, not my churches, but my favorite churches to choose from, like that, because I don't like to say my church, like that. And so I left everything. I left my home next to the beach. I'm 2 blocks away from the beach. Can't beat that. But then I left a situation that I left, before the pandemic hit. So I could have died. Who knows? I left a lot of things that are not to be desired in New York. And leaving. God knows why I'm here. God knows that why I'm here. Something good came out of the marriage, which was the birth of two beautiful, beautiful children. One a special child, one not. It remains to be seen. But I think his eyes are okay, Sean. So I think he's normal. But we don't know yet. We have to see. We have to find out. But at least one child is special. But she's one of the most beautiful babies in all the children all in the world. She's just a gorgeous child, and she's just an adorable creature. So two beautiful people were born out of our marriage. So something came out of it that was good. But there has to be a separation, because we just, there's no communication, there's no love making, there's no trust, from me, there's no trust, I can't trust anymore. And also, I don't like the way the kids are handled sometimes, and we don't compare spiritually whatsoever. And then we're not compatible as far as just everyday likes and stuff like that, and dislikes. We don't even like the same television shows and stuff like that. So when you're not compatible and you're not doing the other things, there's just nothing left. There's nothing left. So I'm not gonna get into them like I said before, but I did mention that I wish I could stay in this marriage, but I just can't. And once trust is broken, for any reason, any big reason I'm talking about, you don't have anything left. And if you don't have any communication or no love, physical love, there's nothing. There's just nothing left. So we have to get a separation, and this is the plan. And this is all Lord willing. God, bless what I'm going to say, so that people can understand. In Jesus' name, amen. My first choice is to get the separation on November. It's a perfect time, because it lands on my daughter's birthday, which is the 2nd of November, right? And so then that's just the deal. I could get the a big loan at that time, I believe. Bigger than any other of the time slots, I guess, right? I finished my loan on June, okay, overall. So either I can get a loan on June that will be comparable to what I'm gonna get in probably in December, because there is a limit that what you can get, what a foreigner could get. Anyway, I mean it's not gonna be limited, unlimited, less. Okay, you understand? But my first druther, my first choice is to file in not December but November, because like I said, my baby's birthday is there, and also people are businesses and stuff like that. I mean, lawyers go on vacation on December, Christmas vacation, and things, offices are closed and stuff like that. And you don't want to run into, okay, lawyers not being present on vacation, Christmas Day, and all this. You don't want to run into that. So, December is out and November is in because of, like I said, my daughter's birthday. And the reason I just gave you, because it's better to file in November than December because of the reason I just gave you. And not only that, since I'm finished my loan with on on June of next year, well, I can save for 5 months in the bank, $3,000. I can save $3,000 in the bank. So when I get my loan with Atian in November, Lord willing, which I'll do this and that, I have some money in my pocket. I have a couple of pillows that we just don't have now. And I'm trying to learn to save in the bank for emergency purposes, for hospital or clinic visits, for medication, for extra things for the kids, for extra money for us when we don't have, and stuff like that. We have to learn how to save. You understand what I'm saying? We have to learn how to save. That's what I'm trying to teach my wife. She doesn't know that. You have to learn how to save. Would to God that when I was young, when 18 years old, that I started saving all the way until, now. I mean, I will be a millionaire or something like that. I don't know. you know. I mean, that's just, or investing or something like that. Investing, which probably I plan to do, probably investing in I don't know, in companies of the Philippines, just in stocks or in shares or something like that. I mean, just invest and get some returns. You know what I'm saying? Like invest in Jollibee or invest in I don't know, just anything that's of this country. Um, Now, even though they have Jollibee in the United States, that's the deal. Um, so Plan A is to get, excuse me, is to get the separation on November, and start the start paying the lawyer in November, and contacting the lawyer through Atian. She knows someone who's a lawyer, I guess, or a company that has to do with lawyers. I don't know. We didn't talk about a lot about that last month or this month, but we talked about it briefly, and so that's good. There's several reasons why November is a very great date. Okay, I'm probably skipping some other reasons because I forgot them. I probably mentioned them yesterday in the rain, but those tapes, those recordings are gone. So I mean, my baby's birthday is there, God willing, and then I can save until December, so November is still good, and then I could get a big loan around that time, and then November is good to start, because December you don't want to start anything rolling in December because of Christmas and stuff like that. So there's several reasons why, okay, it's good to start in November. Okay. Also, I mean, I get an increase next year, and I get an increase, hopefully in 2025. So even though I have to pay at the end, I'm still gonna get an increase, and hopefully, I'm gonna extract something that I don't want to talk about now, that I don't really use. I don't use a medical coverage because I'm not in the United States anymore, so I don't use it. I'm not gonna say what it is, and that can save me like 10,000 peso right there, nearly. I'm paying 10,000 peso, which is equal to $200 for nothing, because I'm not even in the United States using the medical coverage. So I mean, why have it? Um, and I mean, that can help me to pay for more. I can have some extra money in my pocket if I cut that benefit for a mortgage or to pay at the on a little bit more easily. You understand what I'm saying? And if I save, I can actually do that because I'm saving. I can actually call the United States of America, which sometimes costs an arm and a leg, to get that done during the summertime of the United States. Like, during when I save, whenever I'm gonna be starting save. I can only save like around from July to through to December to December. You understand what I'm saying? So that's another reason. There's a lot of benefits in that Plan A. So December is really the target date, even though you're tempted to do it earlier, because I mean the family. I'm gonna try to word this respectfully. Okay, let's just say that this family needs help. I don't want to say anything more. You know, give you know states of poverty, or like the lingo that they use here and all this mumble jumbo. I mean, I don't want to demean people of the family. Sometimes it's not their fault. Sometimes it is, but I mean, that's just the cards that everybody was dealt with. I mean, you know what I'm saying? They haven't even had the luxury before 12 years ago to drink tap water. My wife was drinking well water, which is very dirty water, until she was like 24, maybe 24 years old. That's a long time in the system. Okay. Now I understand why people, throw up when they go on long journeys and stuff like that, and then the kidneys are bad, and whatever the case may be, because of the dirty water they had to drink. She was telling me that just like a month ago or something, whatever it was, last month or whatever it was. I don't know. So I'm just gonna say that they need help, and what was disappointing. Sorry about that, guys. Sometimes I close my eyes. Can't even see over here. What was disappointing was that Rochi went to the Middle East and made thousands of dollars, but she didn't really help my wife with a lot of money. Now she did help us in sending things, sending money for the kids sometimes and stuff like that. And I feel sorry for my sister-in-law Rochi because with R-O, because she didn't get anything of the house done at all. I mean, she didn't make the foundation. She went over there to try to build a house over here in the Philippines. That's why she went to the Middle East to work. And when she came back with money, but not enough. Not enough. I mean, she bought a motorcycle. Okay, fine, but she didn't really give my wife, what my wife probably thought she was gonna get. Case in point, that not everybody is Angelo. Not everybody's going to give you 250,000 in one shot, or 38,000 in one shot, or 150,000 in one shot, and do this and do that. I mean, that's why I say that the appreciation factor of this family toward me is non-existent. They don't appreciate me. I think they take me for granted. I was the only one helping this family during the pandemic. There was nobody working during the pandemic. That my money, as little as I get, was the only source of income. My father-in-law wasn't working. My mother-in-law wasn't working. I mean, Risa wasn't working. None of her brothers were working. Even Gilbert the seaman, because he couldn't go overseas. As Atiana could tell you, that her husband couldn't go overseas. You understand what I'm saying? Nobody went overseas. At least that I know of. Now, what's this? What's the deal? What's this over there? You understand what I'm saying? Romanito, he I mean, you can't count on him. And Kathy is a home mom. Staying at home mom. Ruchi wasn't in the Middle East at that time. She was over here. There were no taxis, so the boyfriend of Roche couldn't help, and then Romel wasn't even a mechanic; he was in school, and probably school was shut down. So I mean, there was absolutely nobody bringing money whatsoever. Nobody. I was the only one feeding the family. The only one that I know of. I mean, I don't know. Somebody maybe has somebody on the side. I don't know, but I was the only one, and people seem to forget that they were. I was the only one that had a car here, except for a couple of people. Okay. Um, I had a Nissan Almera, 2019 Nissan Almera, and when the pandemic hit, thank God we had that car because the tricycles were down. Nobody could use a tricycle. There was no transportation. So I mean, I let people go in my car. I can't drive the car, but I mean, for fun I did. But I had drivers and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But Mike Francesa has a driver. You know what I'm saying? Back in New York. Um, so I mean, I was the only one almost with a car, except a couple of people. The golden van, stuff like that. I don't even think that Caton's husband had the little tiny thing that he has now, the sort of pickup truck or whatever you want to call it. You know, that's in the loosest sense. Pickup truck. It's only like $2,000. I mean, it's just like a you know what I'm saying. I mean, so I was the only one giving income. So I mean, it's very important to save, like I said, for emergencies and stuff like that, or whatever the case may be. So let's get back. So plan A is really to get this thing rolling in November because of all the benefits. The only drawback is that I'm getting it started late in the year, so I'm not going to expect the separation to take to be completed until 2026. And when you're looking for a new relationship and stuff like that, it's a drag, especially in my age. You know. Now, plan B, I can get it. I could get the separation. I could get the loan from Atian around either February or March, according to her. If it's a little bit more in March, okay, I'll go get it in March because Godfrey's birthday, my stepson's birthday, is in March the 29th anyway. So it's wise to get it in March because if you get it in February, all the money might be gone. So it's best to get it in March because I'm probably going to get a little bit more, a couple of thousand pesos more anyway than if I get it in February. You understand what I'm saying? So it might be the case, but I mean, I think so. I'm really leaning toward March. Okay, getting the separation in March, getting started, get it started anyway. Okay, but I can't save any money for a rainy day. And remember that it doesn't finish until June anyway. So I'm extending it a year from June if I get a big loan. So you're talking about that and I can get periodic loans and stuff like that. I guess if I could get one in March, I can get one on, in September or for my baby's birthday and stuff like. I mean, but I can't save. But why I need to save anyway? If I could get one in September, but I can't save for a rainy day. I don't like that. But like I said before, and I mentioned the family because it's so tempting to want to help them. I mean, somebody from the family came. I'm not gonna say who came yesterday to my house, wanting help, and I said I cannot get another loan right now because Atian told me that I can't put a loan on top of an existing loan. It's just like if I'm a loaner, I just loan somebody 10,000 peso, and then they come to me next month, and they're not even finished the payment. Well, I'm not going to give them another 10,000. They're not even finished with the first 10,000 that I gave them. I don't make any money. You know what I mean? They're not even finished yet. So everything has rules. Atian doesn't make the rules. She just works for a company that happens to be a loan company, and she doesn't make the rules. She's not the boss. I mean, she's a very important worker, the head of that office there in Bogo, but she has to go by the rules, and she can't tell you what you want to hear. She has to tell you what you need to hear. That's a good sign of a good worker, and then it's up to us just to take the hard medicine sometimes. You understand what I'm saying? Let me see over here. Let me see what's the deal. Okay. So I mean, so March. I mean, it's a plan B because number one, the great thing is that I get this separation started earlier. So maybe you're looking at maybe it finishing or completing by the end or sometime in midpoint of 2025. You see, if I get it in December, plan A, well, then I'm not going to get the separations and completed in 2025 unless everything gets speeded up. I mean, I don't know, expedited or whatever the case may be, pay a couple of extra bucks, I don't know. But they said 2 years. So 2 years, you're pushing. If I get it in plan A in November, well, then I'm probably not going to see a completion of the separation until, the 2026, sometime in 2026, whether it's the end part or first, second, third quarter, fourth quarter, I don't know. But I'm probably going to see it complete. Okay, on the 2025, if I get it started either in February or March of next year. That's the main benefit. Okay, that's the main benefit. It's going to be a lesser loan, but the main benefit is that you get things started earlier. That's the thing. Now, push it. Plan C is to get this thing started in June, which is still earlier than December, so that's still good. It's just a couple of months. I mean, you still could probably get the completion of the separation by the end of 2025 if you started in June of 2024. So you might have a little window there. So I mean, it's not that bad. It's better than December, even though it's Plan C. But again, you're tempted to help these people, these dear people in this family, even though they don't appreciate me. Do good to those who hate you. Do good to those who use you. To do good to those who despise you, or whatever the case may be. Or Jesus said, if your enemy hungers, feed him. I mean, that's what it says in Romans chapter 12. You understand what I'm saying? Your own enemies are going to be your own household. Jesus said he did not come to bring peace upon the earth, but a division, a sword, a spiritual sword. So your own enemies are going to be of your own house. That's what Jesus said that he came to do. It's to cause a separation. He did not bring peace upon the earth like that. Once you're for Jesus, there's going to be friction in the family if they're not saved. That's just all there is to it. And if you don't know that, you're a fool. Or you don't have any Christianity to showcase, and then that's why you don't have any problems in your family, any divisions, because you're not a mouthpiece for God. You're not His ambassador. You're not doing anything for God. You're just living like the world, not witnessing for Him, not living for Him, not taking a stand because you're a coward, not taking a stand for Christ against your own family and your relatives, if need be. Just like Jesus took a stand, against his mothers, his mother, his brothers, and his sisters, and stuff like that. Who are my mother? Who are my brothers? Who are my sisters? And he looked upon those who were really following him and says, these, he who does the will of God are my mother, my sister, and my brothers. He didn't even point to his family. He pointed to the group of people that were really following him and not telling him that he was crazy. So it's very, very tempting. That's why this December thing is November is a very good plan for me. But this family is so dependent on Gilbert, Romel, Ruchi, and me to supply the financial needs that is so tempting not to do it the expedient way of December, and to sort of push it, not to benefit me in a sense, because it's still going to benefit me in a sense, because if I do it, because like I said, the timetable changes dramatically, and so you're starting off the separation proceedings earlier. So it's going to benefit me anyway, even if I want to rush and help this family out. In a sense, all the money's not going to be for them. You understand? It's not going to be for them. I'm going to buy food and stuff like that for them and stuff like that. But listen, I need 150,000 for the lawyer. Atiance. That's what I need. That's what I need. I need what I need. That's what I need. You understand what I'm saying? Now, if listen, if I if I can't get the separation there because I have to help the family, well, then a lot of that money has to be in the bank, and maybe, you know, in September or November, then I can put the rest of it toward a lawyer, and it's almost like using Plan A anyway because I'm back to November, even though I used of March to get things done as sort of Plan B. But then I saved money to get some of the, to get the proceedings of the separation started. I couldn't finish it because I have to help the family, let's say, right? But then if I go to with that money in the bank being held there, then in November, well, then I can get another loan in November, and I don't know how much I'm gonna get, but or I might be able to get a couple of thousand and then seal the deal. So Plan B, I mean, has its drawbacks and because you can't save in the bank, but you can get it done faster, and so that's just the deal. You know what I mean? Plan C is to get this thing done in June, and like I said, that's landing on basically my son's Sean Donnelly's birthday, because his birthday is on the 24th of June. So that's why it's good that month. But and also I can get this thing started before November. Okay. But again, it's a drawback because this family has to wait for me because Rochi's not going to be working right away. And somebody has to tell Romel, and I told this her brother, one of her brothers, Romel. You got Rominito, Romel, Brisker, Gilbert, like that. And Romel has a girlfriend now, and since he became a mechanic, I was telling my wife today, she came over here. She comes here in the morning getting things for the babies and stuff like that, and she's hightails it out of here and goes to wherever she does, and whatever. I mean, seminar or whatever she's doing. I don't know. Hopefully, she'll do something constructive in her life. You understand what I'm saying? Learn sort of a trade and get out of poverty. You understand what I'm saying? Excuse me. Romel, one of her brothers, okay, found a girlfriend recently, but he has to understand that he became a mechanic for a reason, and it doesn't include, and it shouldn't include, okay, a sleeping partner or whatever the case may be, giving money to her now. His focus should be, and I told this that the temptation is for Romel to not focus on the family, and that's why he got the mechanic job. He's a mechanic now. He went to school. But primarily, he got that mechanic job to help his mother and father and, brother and sisters. Okay? And his cousins and nieces or whatever the case may be. He became a mechanic to help out. So when he came over here, and when Richard came over here, they didn't give nothing to, basically nothing to, nothing for Riza. Not everybody's Angelo. There's come with 38,000 in your pocket, so you could become a loner. You see, that's the thing that she didn't appreciate. Romel didn't give her nothing. She said. I'm not saying that he doesn't help, because he helped a lot with the babies, like Rochi did from the Middle East, and Romel helped and stuff like that. But the temptation is that, he has a girlfriend now, and all the focus can be blindsided to only the girlfriend, helping out the girlfriend and her family. And I'll tell you, when Riza's mother, when Riza saw that girl, I don't care how good she is, or whatever, I never seen her. They said, oh man, now, this kid, who I used to change his diapers, Riza was probably saying, because he's in his 20s and she's, in her 30s, Riza. She's almost going to be 40 years old in 3 years. I mean, she was carrying him as a baby and changing his diapers and feeding him milk and stuff like that. And now he got Romeo got this little brat of a girlfriend to look after, and the entire family to feed also, probably, or whatever the case may be. So the attention span is broadened now to two families. And so you're forgetting why you're there in the first place, as to be a mechanic primarily for your mother and father. You know, now you got a girlfriend to worry about and stuff like that, putting all your attention. Because I've been there and done that. I focused on some girlfriends in the past, and it's sad to say I didn't focus on my family, my immediate family, 100%. You understand what I'm saying? Like I used to do before I had these relationships and stuff like that, and like I did after these relationships failed. I last job that I ever had at Dialogue in the Dark, I completely gave the money almost completely to my mother, because I gave her very little at the time of April's fiasco. A Filipina who gypped me at a $1,190, and you know she gypped me, and then basically that money I could have gave to my mother, and I didn't. So I say, you know something, I want to, I want to do this job, Dialogue in the Dark, for her, and thank God I did, because the same year she passed away. So at least I have a good conscience in starting off right in my life, in my jobs, and giving money to my mother, and then finishing off the deal like that also, even though I had some lapses in between. So I know what it is not to focus on the family because of a girl. And so and that's not the reason to tell Romel. That's not the reason to tell Romel. But let me tell you something. I can't be the hero of the family all the time, man. I'm not saying that I am, but, for the majority of the years that I've been here, I mean, I've been supplying a bulk of their needs, especially during the pandemic. Like I said before, that nobody was working except for nobody had income except for my income. Papa wasn't working. He couldn't make no boost. Nobody was working. Nobody went overseas. Nobody, no, and the family wasn't really working at that time, except for one, really two people, Ruchi. But I mean, she had a very menial job. I mean, not that she never brought nothing from Cebu to when she visited her mother here. I know she brought chocolates and stuff, and probably brought a little money, but she was not a rich person with that job. Or she would have stayed there. Why go to the Middle East if you're making money, there? But she was only making in the Middle East like $1,000 a month. That's not a lot. Well, you have to, help people here. Like she has 3 kids that she had to help, even 4 kids that she had to help. And, so she had to send and stuff like that, and send for the mother. So the next time she goes over there, my advice, and I don't know whether people could take it or leave it, my advice is that, she goes there and the main focus is not on anybody except for her house. The main focus, what she has to do, and I don't know if the family's going to let her, that's the problem, it has to be on the house that she wants to build. How many years? I mean, she was there for 2.5 years, and she didn't even get 1 block of cement for her house. Not 1 block. Not 1 block of cement. Nothing. That's why Risa has to appreciate what I did for her, because, I mean, I'm legally blind, and in a very short time, you can't even count these 2.5 years. In the first 2.5 years that I came here, I'm already making her a house. And her sister was in the Middle East for 2.5 years, almost 3 years, and she couldn't even start the foundation yet. Nothing is erected. Nothing, not 1 block, nothing, unless something was purchased without us knowing, or whatever the case may be. I don't know. To me, she shouldn't have bought a motorcycle. Why she's going to buy a $4,000 motorcycle for? Why? She's not even going to be here. Who's going to use it? With $4,000, you could buy some blocks, and you can make start the foundation and stuff like that. At least start something, not to buy a motorcycle, man. You don't need to buy a motorcycle, man. But I mean, that's what she bought. That's her money. That's what she earned. And, you know, she's using it the way she wants. But she's never gonna have the house like that. If she has to keep on helping the family and us and I mean, you know what I'm saying? So this family is very, very heavily dependent on me, on you know, on Gilbert more than anyone. On Romel, like I said, but you know, he's divided now. His attention is divided into two families. And somebody has to tell him about that. And Reza doesn't tell him about it. Well, I mean, you know, he could be blindsided and just help the girl. And oh, well, I don't have nothing left for you guys because I had to help the girl out. It's not even his wife yet to help like that. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to help somebody who's not even your wife yet like that, because if it goes to Pac, if it goes to nothing, all that money you wasted for nobody. That's why the next relationship I'm gonna have, I'm not gonna be giving money to her at the expense of my children and stuff like that. I'm not, you know, the next girlfriend I'm gonna have, I'm gonna tell her, listen, I don't want to give you a lot of money now. We don't know where this relationship is gonna go, and that way you can test her out to see if if she's in it for the money or not. You know, and if a lady says, "Oh, okay, no, I understand," I mean, you know, okay, well, that's a good sign that lady is not out for your money and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So the plan A is November. Plan B is either March or February of next year. I'm talking about, and Plan C is for basically June. And there's a benefit in June, like there's a benefit in March. The separation will get started earlier. That's one benefit. Um, Birthdays. There's birthdays on those months. Godfrey's is in March, and then my son's birthday, Sean's birthday is in June. Okay. So, but I'm gonna be aiming for November because there's another birthday there, my daughter's birthday, and I could be saving 3,000 in the bank, and I would have done something that I never did so far is finish a loan completely without adding on top of it, which I never did. That's very good for my record with Atian if I could do that. But with this, you know, with the family being so poor, you know, can I afford to do that? But I have to think about myself, man. I have to think about myself. You know, there's people that can work over here. I mean, Risker can work. My younger brother, Arisa, he can work. Papa can work. He rarely works. I mean, he works for 1 month, like he did the other month, and then he's out for a couple of months or for a few months, and then he works, and then he's out. It's inconsistent. You know, that's your wife that you have to be responsible for. I mean, you know, my mother-in-law is Papa's wife, and he has to be responsible and work, and really basically the whole year he doesn't work except for a few months. I mean, you know, if that. That's irresponsible. You know? So, we have a lot of pressure on us, you know, me, Ruchi, Gilbert, and Romel. There's a lot of pressure to, you know, to supply the needs of the family, man. So basically, that's my plan. I know this is a long recording, but that's really what's going on. This is not a rebuke against Risa, nothing like that. And you know, in the opposite of that, you know, I thanked her in this video for coming to my assistance to give me medication in my hour of great pain. I was crying the other day, literally. I was crying with my stepson. He cried with me because he saw me cry. And then I called Denise, and I want to thank Denise out there. Because I called two people. One, I called, I'm not going to mention who. She couldn't help me because she was in the hospital with her father. But I know that I can always count on Denise to help me no matter what, because she's my best friend. And I knew that she was going to help me, and I said, Denise, pray for me. Just like I told the other person, I don't know if she did. The other person pray for me anyway. I just said pray for me. I said to the other person, I said pray for me. Can you contact also Ariza just to tell her to come here because it was like excruciating. It was like 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock and no Riza until Godfrey burst in around 11:30 and he was just a godsend. He was a godsend. Um, the other person couldn't help me at whatsoever. I mean, I don't know if she prayed, and thank you. I'm not gonna, call out her name. If you prayed for me, thank you. But if you didn't, well, then I mean, at least I called Denise and I cried on her messenger, on the audio that I sent her in messenger. I wanted somebody to cry with because sometimes when you cry, you feel better. You just forget about your pain and you just. There's something about tears that when you cry, I mean, I don't know. It's just like maybe it relaxes you or something chemically. I don't know. But she was there and I know she prayed for me and she even went beyond. She contacted Risa and told Risa to get over here and to help me. You understand what I'm saying? So I mean, Denise, if you're out there, I love you a lot. You're my best friend in the whole world now. And you are a person that God has used in my life in furtherance of the gospel. We did many Bible studies together. We did a lot of projects together that are going to be appearing on YouTube soon. Hopefully, when I get my tablet and stuff like that, or my computer, or desktop, or whatever. I can't wait to get that so I can edit and stuff like that proper way. Because I brought all my passports, meaning my external hard drives and stuff like that, from the house with all of my projects on them. And they're called passports. I'm not talking about real passports. I'm talking about external hard drive memory devices that you connect to the computer, and then all of your videos and all that stuff is just thousands upon thousands of things that I've recorded in thousands, hundreds of thousands maybe, are there in these memory things, So I just want to thank Denise for helping me out, for helping me out and in my hour of need. So anyway, I'm getting a little sleepy because this is a very long thing. Basically that's it for now until next year, until I report when I get this done. Oh, it's 2%. I better go because then the whole thing is going to be destroyed. Okay, because if it reaches to 0, it's going to conk out the phone and it's going to delete all of this work. So I better go, guys. Okay, thank you. Bye bye now. Bye. That's my plan for next year. Lord willing, I shall do this and that. Thank you.